Hey, Supernatural fans. Tonight we are talking doom and gloom. But don't worry, we are here for you, to feel for you, to talk you through it. The loss of Mary, Jack, is he ever going to be forgiven by the boys? All that and more coming at you right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I mean, you guys, cries. So many cries.
Did everyone cry this episode?
Yes.
I
was
did a lot
shocked.
of waving the
Waving
tears
the-
off.
Okay.
It was like, no, my little Grinch heart was like breaking.
Oh, you're in Grinch colors today.
I am.
Hey guys, that's over there. You see who that is? That's my good girl, Cherry Davis.
Hi.
And next to her, looking as dapper as ever, is Brendan Haley.
Brendan!
Thank you for the introduction.
You're welcome. And right now, next to me, with the eyeliner on point, this is Miss Jackie Ray.
Yes, she noticed the eyeliner.
I did. You guys, I'm Lyndsey Wegner. Tonight we are talking with you all about Season 14, Episode 18, Absence of Supernatural. There's an absence in our hearts.
Yes.
Yeah, someone's missing.
There's an absence in my stomach because I haven't eaten yet.
That's why we get along.
I
You know
know,
what I
yeah.
mean? I always think.
It's gonna be a little growly. Oh, National Dog Day, growly. Oh, Crowley.
No.
We're having so many epiphanies right now.
I know, all
right?
the epiphanies.
Yes.
I'm just trying to keep the mood light since today was literally doom and gloom and pink gloom, which I kind of liked. But, you know, it's a tough day. We've got Cass and the boys fighting. I don't know what's going on with this Duma chick. It's a rough day. There's so much we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about the boys being angry with Cass. We are going to talk about the possibility of Jack being forgiven and how the boys can even come to terms with what just happened. All that and more. But first, everyone, what were your initial thoughts for tonight's episode? Brendan.
Oh, God. I'm not going to lie. I might have been on Twitter in the moments before I started watching, and I might have sort of spoiled it for myself.
boo.
So I didn't. I know.
What do you mean?
Well, no, I read that Mary was dead.
Okay.
Shocker, I know. But so I wasn't initially shocked as everyone else was, but then it started going, the story started getting into it more, and what got me were the callbacks to previous episodes where she was just having nice moments with Jack, moments with Dean and Sam, and it was just so heartbreaking to see all these moments.
How did the flashbacks affect you, Jackie? I'm sorry, should I? maybe
No,
ask
it's
you that?
fine. It's fine. So for me, it was like, for those of you who don't know, which most of you guys here know, but my dad passed in 2015. And so when he passed, it was exactly, so the flashbacks got to me not because of the sentimental value of Mary, but because in my head, that's exactly how I would be like literally driving along and then things would kind of go black and white and I would see me and my dad fishing or, you know, me and my dad going bowling. Like, and it was just like that. So while I appreciated that, it did give me a little emotion.
A little
Yeah.
They're always so good at tugging the heartstrings.
You too. You got something in there. Cherry, thoughts about tonight's episode?
I was hoping nothing happened because I knew it would just break apart our family. But, you know, we really got to talk about my Winchester boys getting all mad because for once somebody was putting somebody else first and they got mad. Because, you know, Castiel did promise to take care of Jack to his mom. So, hey. But I still love my Winchesters.
But let's discuss here the fact, though, that we've said from the beginning of this season, there's going to be a death of one of the main characters. And I was hoping that it wasn't going to be Cass. I'm sorry. If Mary's the casualty of all of this, this isn't the worst thing that could happen. I hope you guys in the chat don't hate me for saying that.
But I'm going to just jump on that for a second because it might not be the worst thing. It's extremely sad and traumatic, but it's going to drive the drama between all the other characters as it did this episode, and we might get something even worse because of it.
Well, and that's the point, is the drama, obviously. And she had all her goodbyes last episode. We all noticed that she was doing the goodbye tour. So I'm like, this isn't going to end well. If you're already starting it looking like this is the demise.
I would like to point out, though, last week I said she's dead. You guys, no, we don't know. We didn't see her. I want my Jackie was right moment.
Jackie was right.
Thank you.
Jackie was right.
I was with you, but I was pondering the idea of her being taken over by Satan, which is still up for debate. There's a body. Someone could create. That sounded weird. But a demon or something could crawl in.
They had a Viking funeral.
I know.
And Mary was on borrowed time. She'd already died when they were kids, and then she came back. So really, every day was a precious gift.
I agree with you on that, Jerry.
Okay, let's do a From Far Away.
I did think it was slightly hilarious though when Cass went to heaven and she had 2 death dates.
Yes. And that's completely exactly what Cherry's saying, is that she already had the time, and now she got to see the boys grown up, and as she said, brave, kind, heroic, all these great qualities, because you never know. It's going to be a surprise. You think you're failing them, but they turn out to be such wonderful humans, which is exactly what she'd hoped would happen. And she got to be here the last couple years and spend that time. And like you said, each day was a gift. And that's how she took it.
That's all that anyone can ask for who's experienced loss or the loss of a loved one, is getting that chance to see that person again.
Oh my God, if we
And then she got to have a childhood growing up feeling with Jack that she missed out on with Sam and Dean.
She did, but Shruti, hi Shruti, she was tweeting me, and she was telling me though that, Mary was never this great mother, and even with Jack.
I mean, are there any good parents in this franchise, this universe?
Well, I mean, what's
The cop mom.
Yes,
The cop mom,
yes,
the
yes,
sheriff.
yes, yes.
Oh my god, my favorite, Zach and Cody. Yes.
Yeah. I think she's a
really
great
good
mom.
mother.
Yeah. I will agree with you on that.
What's her?
Jody Mills.
Jody Mills.
Jody, yes.
Character.
Jody, I think she's a great mother, but I think you're right too. Like, how many really great moms do we get to see?
A lot of them don't live long enough to be great moms.
No, because we don't get the opportunity, and they killed.
It's kind of like the Star Trek red shirt theory. Where, like, if you're a good person in this universe, you're just off.
Yes.
Oh, and remember the original Hunters? The mom that had the bar.
Joe.
Yes.
Someone was saying they wanted Joe,
She
and
was a
her.
good-
Or it was Joe was the younger girl.
Yeah, and the mom and the daughter had such a good relationship, and she was like a den mother for Sam and Dean as well. So she was a good mother too, but then she got all blowed up with all the other Hunters.
Ivan said not even God was a good parent.
That's
hard.
God has been kind of, has been absent. He's been
He's an
absent.
absent father.
He's gonna be pissed when he comes back.
Let's talk a little bit about the conflict with Cass that has now been created, because Sam and Dean are at the bunker. No one's around. No one's answering the phone. Cass calls them and says, "I'm a little worried about him because of what he did with the snake." And they're like, "Okay, so you knew something, but you didn't say anything." And we come to find out that in some way, Mary is gone. We are not 100% for sure yet, but that Mary's gone. And Dean is in full-blown, not rage yet, but he's angry, and he's like, "You will be dead to me if something has truly happened here." And did you guys feel for Cass when he said, "This was my responsibility. I was supposed to look after him. I wanted to do this on my own. I didn't want to get you involved. I wanted to fix the problem." Did you feel for him? Or were you a little bit more on Dean's side? And you guys in the chat or on YouTube or Twitter, please let us know your thoughts too, because we want to hear what you think about it. But panel here, what did you think?
It's such a delicate topic to pick apart, because on one hand, Dean is so validated in how he's feeling, but also Castiel did do his best, and he was trying to find a way to fix it. Much like Jack, but, we know what
I mean,
happened
this
to
is the
Jack.
storyline of yes, you're right. I can see both sides of it. But Dean, and I totally get it, especially when you're angry and you're emotional. Sometimes it's difficult to self-reflect. But Dean's been right here. Dean's been that guy who's kind of known something is wrong, but, he wants to fight to bring Sam back, or whatever. Like, he knows what that's like. But at the same time, if that means mom is gone, and shout out to Rowena for delivering that information in the most politically correct way possible. I don't know where she is or what happened, but she's no longer on this earth. That's like, I know you're gonna freak out if I just say she's dead, so I'm just gonna put some sugar on this for you
try
a
to
little
help
bit
it in any way that we can.
Right. So I just felt like, and I was glad to see that even though in Dean's anger he didn't Hulk out too much and completely exile Cass, but he did need that space.
I feel sorry for them, but I totally sympathize with Castiel because his first loyalty was to the memory of Jack's mom that he made all these promises to. And the little incremental things that Jack did on their surface weren't really what I'd call evil. They were just like, he's still learning and he still just doesn't understand
just the
norms.
absence
But it's
of
the
good.
absence
Humanity.
of good, like Cass said. It's not that he's doing bad, it's the absence of good, and he thinks he's helping.
Yes.
I mean, it's like a little kid when they see an insect or a kitty and they just grab it and start squeezing it and you're like, oh, you can't squeeze it that hard. But they think they're like, I'm just squeezing the kitty. They don't know the consequences of their action because they haven't learned. That's a learned behavior.
Yes. And he hasn't had time
And
to
he
learn.
hasn't learned that behavior yet. He's
Yeah.
literally a 2-year-old.
Yes.
Billie Jean Girl 24 said, I felt bad for Cass, but it wasn't his fault. It was all their faults.
I think you're right. And later on, I loved when Sam had made that point and he goes, look, we all thought this. We all saw things. You wanted to, like, I wanted to save him. That just, we all did this. It's not completely on Cass. And I'm glad they did that because I was really feeling for Cass. And then obviously the rage did come out when Dean found out that she was no longer on Earth and he broke the chair. And you see Sam with the, like, lip quiver. And I'm like, oh, God. Here we go.
Here come the waterworks.
Yeah, they all failed Jack because everybody was so busy. They were trying to save Sam. They're trying to save Dean. They're trying to save the new hunters. And none of them realized you have to hold his hand and lead him down the right path. Because as much as I love Castiel still isn't quite 100% understanding humanity.
Either as well.
Yeah, no, that's true. But you know who didn't fail us, guys? The viewers of AfterBuzz TV. And I just want to take a very quick second to say thank you so much for your patronage and your viewership of the studio. Everything that you guys do, both online and in viewing, helps us do what we love to do and makes us the ESPN of TV Talk. We ask that if you are watching us on YouTube right now, please click the subscribe button. If you are listening on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. Comment in the live stream or on social telling us that you did so, and you'll get a shout out on air with us, the cool kids on the block. So do that, guys. Thanks so much.
That's right. You guys aren't failing us. And I just saw that Chris Moe said, how do you think Sam and Dean will go out next season? I definitely want to, let's just, sidebar, let's talk
Right.
about this for
Yeah.
a second, because I know this would be a prediction thing, but let's just talk about it quick right now. Do you guys think the show is going to end with Sam and Dean dying?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm a no. You're
a
a yes.
yes.
Cherry's a no. Brendan,
I'm an undecided.
you need to see what happens at the end of this season.
Yeah, there's so many things that could happen so quickly in the blink of an eye. I don't honestly know how to gauge it.
Yeah, but talk about living on borrowed time. How many times have Sam and Dean skirted death?
That's
Yep,
true.
Billy's
You know what I
waiting
mean?
for that
Yeah.
moment. She's already knowing it's
And
going
I can
on.
just see it, because we already know that Mary is with John, with her husband. And so I could just see the last scene being, mom and dad and the boys reunited in this beautiful thing, and it fades to a sunlight white.
While the earth burns.
I mean, they're not here, so it's still beautiful in a way.
That's true. Yeah.
That's rough. Okay.
Or Jack is just reigning omnipotent.
Oh my God.
I don't even want to think about the boys ending right now. Let's talk more about this episode because this was already hard enough. But Chris Mill, that's a great question. Thank you for bringing that up for us. Shout out to you. So, Jack, and Nick. And
Well,
what
it's
did
still Jack.
it is still Jack, but I'm going to say I call this one. Nick's not around. He's gone.
Right.
He be gone. This was a flashback or whatever, his like little angel devil sitting
Like
on his shoulder.
subconscious or
As he
something.
says, it's him. He's kind of manifesting, which makes me wonder if, like, I remember one of you was saying last week when he was saying, leave me alone. Was it that voice in his head? that was.
I actually really loved how the writers played this one because we've talked about this on the show before. Like, it's almost weird, and you and I have talked about it now because when my dad passed, like I still hear his voice all the time, and when I get into some mess, I almost slipped up, but I didn't. When I get into some mess, I literally hear him like it's audible. You know what I mean? So even though it's not Lucifer, I thought it was dope that he kind of manifested his vision of his dad to help him get through this thing. I loved how the writers played this.
Well, it's a metaphor for grief,
right.
too. It's a demon grief
I'm
thing.
going with dad.
Okay, you're going with the nice thing. I'm like, it's terrible. It's trauma.
Well, first off, I have to give major props to Nina Lopez Corrado, who directed the episode. We had her in the studio a couple years ago, and whatever episode it was, I should have looked up which one it was when we had her in, but she has directed before, and it was a very, very emotional and heavy grief, loss episode. So she's clearly just knocking it out of the park with this kind of writing. Props to the writers for giving that stuff, but good for her for allowing us to see how difficult it was for Jack to be hearing this, to not want to be hearing it, but accepting it and really, really dealing with the consequences of all of it. Cherry, thoughts on that at all? And Jack and this
Jack
dad?
is having a hard time with his little Jiminy Cricket whispering naughtiness in his ears. And I still feel like he has a little bit of his soul left. He still isn't really what I'd call evil, but like this whispering in his ear, almost like someone who has depression, and you're constantly hearing this drum beat of something in your head, and you're unable to separate it out. I think that's the issue. I think when Marina was watching him interact, she knew something emotional was going on, but she also knew it was like anger and sadness. It's like the tsunami in him. And if they don't pull him back, then yes, I have to agree with all of you, especially you, saying he will end up being the big bad because he'll just go over a chasm. But it's supernatural, so they can always save you and bring you back. Ah!
But why did Rowena help Jack as much as she did?
She was stalling. She was trying to make sure that she kept him calm because she saw that he was losing it, like he was losing his stuff, and so she was trying to keep him calm and probably in essence a little self-preservation because she knew that he had hulked out and killed Mary. So let me keep this boy as calm as I can. I don't know why she let him in. I said that. I was like, he would not get in my house. Because he's don't let the crazy guy in. Like no one home, no one's here.
And then he would probably blast the door down with magic or
Exactly,
something.
because he sent her back in there after she wasn't going to do what he wanted.
Which was so aggressive.
So aggressive. And she just flips her hair and kind of
I loved her. I love that she was on the sofa afterwards and she was just like, I've been attacked. I need wine.
It was like one of those things where somebody falls on one of the fainting couches. And they're like, a very Scarlett O'Hara moment. And she just plays it so well.
I mean, but he didn't kill her because he still is trying to control himself. And
the guilt of Mary already
kind of cares about him. She likes him. She doesn't hate him when she's dead. And she was trying to counsel him and get him calm. And she seemed to have a better understanding of how to deal with him and his emotional distraughtness than Mary did. Because Mary was like a yippy chihuahua. It's okay. And he's like, I need space. Get away from me. And for one instant, and we all have bad thoughts for an instant. It's just that we don't have
the power
to do anything.
Yeah.
I might think, I hope you get in a car accident.
Well, Mary and the rest
But I
of the
don't want you
Winchesters
to
are
do
they're like Gryffindors. They just go. They just go. They have courage. Rowena's a Slytherin because she knows how to survive. Coming from a Slytherin, I'm wearing green. Ayo. I don't know what just happened, guys.
No, I love this. This is a good
fandom.
But
connecting. Yes,
it is part of who she is. She is a survivor. She's brought herself back however many times. She plans ahead, whereas the Winchesters don't really.
And that's the problem, is that she's planned ahead for what's happened to her so she can resurrect herself, where this wasn't planned for Mary. So however Mary comes back, we don't know what her form is going to be. And that's where I was worried, because I'm like, all right, Jack is bringing her back. What is actually going to happen here if he does bring her back? And we find out that it's basically just an empty body, a lifeless, empty body.
I'm not buying it yet.
I want to
not buying
backtrack for 1 second because Stephen Britton asked a really good question.
Okay.
He says, how did Jack read the Book of the Damned? It took the Codex for Rowena to do it.
He's a Nephilim.
Yeah. He's got
Part
special powers, I
godlike, yeah.
think.
Really? He's still 2. Okay.
He sounds entitled.
But he's part God, you know, like he's just
Archangel.
our archangel.
Yeah.
He's got like, you know, different skills that, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
It
what
seemed
I would
like
say.
I thought it was a really
That's
good
what I
question
think.
because he just gonna sit down and do a whole spell.
Yes.
But if that's the case, why take Rowena? Just take the book.
Because he wanted Rowena to do the spell. Because he didn't think he could, because he doesn't really know how to put everything together. He doesn't know what the things are.
He wants to
so
be
he
seen.
wanted it done right.
He wants to be seen doing good.
Yes, and he must be
Oh, he
validated.
needed a witness.
He needed validation.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
That's why
sense.
he kept saying to her, "Do this," and she just kept. She was like, "I cannot," but I also love that she stood firm in that. Mm-hmm. I think she needed to stand firm in that, and he needed to see the repercussion of his actions, and then hear back from Nick, Lucifer, that they'll never forgive you now. They'll never trust you. They'll never forgive you.
I think he's right about they'll never trust you. It's possible they can forgive, but they will never trust again, ever.
I think they might trust. I mean, they've killed numerous supernatural creatures, some of which weren't really what I'd call evil. They were just living their lives.
But they haven't killed They haven't killed their mom though. Like if somebody kills your mom,
That's true.
That was an accident.
Okay.
I was actually going to bring up
Accidentally
Rowena.
killed my mom.
She was technically not great in the beginning, right?
Oh, but she was always awesome though.
I know she was always awesome.
She was always
She was
awesome.
just like
always
one of those
awesome.
people that you just kind of loved. Like she was one of the
Right.
bads that you just loved.
She was
her.
like a Spike from Buffy. She was like that.
Yeah, you still were going to love her no matter what she did. But yeah, we're already questioning you and who you are and if you're really here to do good or bad. You're a son of Lucifer, and then you kill their mom.
Yeah. The only reason he's
know
not
if
getting beat up right now is because they know they'll lose.
Yeah.
The only reason that's not happening.
I mean, and God, would he even commit some sort of suicide just to not have the voices?
That's pretty dark.
He's not gonna do
That's
that.
dark commentary on like reality too.
Right.
Yeah, I hope the voice goes away. The voice.
I do
is
too, because I
just-
think it's only
it's
going to
too
drive him
much.
further
It'll
and
drive him-
deeper, and
yeah.
he needs to not have that voice there. He needs a little guidance from Cass.
Yes. Or
Because Cass
from,
had redemption. So
or from Duma. Even though she's neither good nor bad to
Ooh,
me.
I don't know if I like her, but let's get into her during predictions, because I don't want to talk about her just yet.
struck a chord.
She's up to something.
She's up to something. I did, like I said earlier, I loved the pink lightning smoke stuff that was happening. And of course, we did have a bunch of flashbacks, as you guys had said earlier, about seeing Mary with Sam and Dean and the little moments that they had. And then, of course, we had the montage
yes.
of her, like final moments and the dinner. Because I think the dinner was the best thing. And that came like during the 300th episode, correct?
Yes.
So I think that was just like the moment. Like I said, I think we've all known that someone was going to die. And it was my thought was it was going to be Mary. So to have that moment with John and the boys, she got the family dinner. They got the family dinner they always wanted. It does kind of tie it up with a nice little bow, in my opinion. And then, of course, the traditional, what do we have to do? A hunter's burial. Burn the
Yes.
body. And seeing Cass wanting to show Dean comfort and Sam stopping him and saying,
That scene was actually my favorite scene in this show on a personal level, because when I was younger, I used to have a horrible temper. I would just hulk out. And my brother was the only one who could like calm me down. And so if I was in my calm down phase and you would come over and try to talk to me, I would just hulk back out. So my brother would do that constantly. He would just tell people, not yet. Like, just, And so that sibling where it's literally, we've been through hell and back together. And only Sam is really going to understand. Because right now, on the outside looking in, Dean's grieving, he's vulnerable, he's hurt. Now would be the perfect time to say, hey, man, you know, I'm sorry, whatever. Sam's like, nah, this ain't
Not
the time.
yet.
This ain't the time. So I just really loved that scene because it really played up the sibling attachment, you know?
Brendan or Cherry, any thoughts about that final
It's
scene?
the Winchesters against the world. And that was just a reminder that's how it was in the beginning, and that's how it'll probably be at the end, where it's basically the two of them. I mean, they have people on the periphery, but when it comes right down to it, they will tear down the gates of hell, they'll tear down the gates of heaven for each other. And to a certain degree, Castiel, but when it comes down to it, it's Sam and Dean against the world.
Yeah, I really couldn't put it better myself.
Yeah.
I liked what you said. It's like it's how they started, and it's probably how it's gonna end.
Ivan asked, do you think that being evil is a rite of passage for Sam and Dean? I don't know.
Being evil?
Yeah, I don't know if I think that.
That if they're evil?
Well, that's what he said. He says being evil, you know, he says being evil is Winchester rite of passage. I
mean,
get
they've all
what
been
he's saying,
evil.
yeah, because
They've
they've all
all
been
been
evil at once.
possessed.
So maybe
Yeah.
this is just Jack's.
Evil time.
Bad moment.
Terrible too.
They've all been
It is the
possessed.
terrible
Really
twos.
terrible too.
It really
Ivan's
is.
right.
Yeah, so maybe,
I mean, Castiel was evil for a minute.
yeah, you're right. So maybe this is just it. But I still think he's the big bad.
Well,
I love the
obviously-
look. I love the
Well, I
look.
just, because
like,
I'm just thinking about Nick Lucifer being in Jack's head and trying to get rid of that and trying to be better, that it is going to be the boys against him. This is going to create conflict, but I don't know how it's going to come into play with the end of the season. So I just don't know.
So I think it looks like just from the can I talk about the previews we saw, or are we gonna wait?
Let's get into our specials. Let's finish up any thoughts about the rest of the episode, and then we'll get into some predictions. Yes, and all the other stuff. Obviously, a very touching and emotional episode, and we just got to be ready to see what's going to come up for the rest of this season, and then
On a scale of 1 to puddles and puddles of tears on the floor, how bad do you think this season is going to end? Like emotionally, do you think it's going to match this episode, or do you think it will get worse and worse and worse?
I think it'll get worse.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bad one.
I don't think it's going to be more emotional. I think it's going to be more, oh my God, intense. I think it's going to be hard to play up this level of pulling at your heartstring when things are just getting
Intense is a good word.
Yeah.
And you're right. We lost Mary. Unless we're losing somebody else, you're right. Maybe intense is a better word.
Right.
For everybody. Oh, you guys. Emotional episode this week. Intense coming at you in the next couple weeks for the last 2 episodes.
Get those Kleenex ready.
Get the Kleenex ready. But speaking of how Cass is still a part of the family, Jack is a part of the family, they're all a family, our little special segment is talking about the worst fight you had with your family.
I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to give you the mild version.
Yeah, I'll start. And it wasn't even really a family. It was more of my mom, and I will never, ever forget this. I said something so mean to her. I didn't call her a name, but I said something that a darn college student that was living on her own for at least a year or 2 and thought they knew everything and didn't need their mom. And I snapped back at her with something. And she looked at me, and I was waiting because I was like, ooh, I'm going to get slapped across the face because that's what I deserve. And she gave me the look and walked away.
Oh, that's even worse.
It was the worst feeling in the entire world because I knew everything I said was just, it hit her, resonated, disappointed her so much. And I have felt guilty for that literally since it happened. And I apologized to her after, but that was just the worst feeling. And I wish I could, I don't wish I could remember what I said because I should not be something that I live and think about. But that look on your mom's face or your dad's face when you make them that mad and they don't even scold you. They're like, I'm going to let you deal with this. And you're like,
no.
the worst. All right. Jack, I'm literally. I feel like I'm sweating.
I
right
know.
now.
I'm like, just the silence got me like my stomach just went oof.
Yeah.
My stomach's like that, but I need a burrito.
Jackie, what's your
Our worst.
Mild.
This is definitely not the worst, but it put a rift between me and my family for a good 2-3 months, which is the longest.
wow.
And it was when I originally had moved to New York. I got signed into a music deal, and it went bust really quickly. So I had to come back, with my tail between my legs. But I was like, I hated Colorado with all of my being, right? So ended up in another band that was moving to LA. Perfect. So I told my parents, I was like, I'm moving to LA. And I kid you not, they had a freaking intervention. It was my whole entire family, aunts, uncles, cousins that I didn't even know were cousins, were in the house to tell me that I was going to just fail. I should stay there and work. And like, just to be in that room in that moment. And I don't think they realized what they were saying to me. I think that because there's a family.
felt you were being protective?
Yeah, there's a family business that I could have easily just, walked into and be very financially secure. So for them, this made no sense. And so, but just to be in a room full of people and you're the only one in that room who believes in your vision was the worst feeling I've ever had. And I didn't talk to anyone for 3 months. I literally packed my car up like 3 days later and drove to LA.
I think that's
my
the
God.
answer.
Yeah, what you got?
Brenda, what you got here, burrito?
I'm just the ghost of my pastor coming into my eyes. I'm like, oh God. I remember vividly, it like was the first time I think I ever had a huge, dramatic fight with my family. When I was in 4th grade, I think it was early. It was really early.
Yes!
I'm glad that you can remember that.
Yeah, I remember I didn't want to go to school. I was like homeschooled and then in school, like on and off through middle school and high school because I was doing work for theaters and stuff like that. And I remember I didn't want to go to school that day. So my mom was like, okay, we'll call the principal or whatever. And then my dad got really upset because he wanted me to go to school. And I don't remember even when it started, but like everyone just started yelling. It was like, he has to go to school. No, he's not going to go to school. Like it was ridiculous. But I remember getting really upset and I was like crying. And then my dad was like, I can't do this anymore. And was like, I'm going to leave. It was dramatic. It wasn't like a real thing. But in the moment, I was like, oh my God, what?
This turned into a huge
This
fight.
is like actually
not
happening.
going to school.
Yeah, so I remember like stopping him at the door and I was like, no, you can't do this. No, I'll go to school or whatever. And then I ran back to my room and dealing with all of these emotions that I'd never really experienced before, I had some like ridiculous Pirates of the Caribbean poster on my wall. I got up on my bed, I ripped it off the wall, I was like, yeah. And I just went to town on my room. And then I went to school and everything was fine.
Because you thought he was going to leave.
Yeah. And he was just being dramatic.
Gotcha.
Like,
Yeah,
my family can be very dramatic. But to a kid who was in 4th grade,
Sure.
Right.
you don't know that's just playing around. You don't know that people are just crazy sometimes. Like, I was ready to rage. I did sort of.
Oh my gosh. that's
Wow.
so
I
Sherry.
know.
Well, my story is kind of weird, but my sister moved to New York City, and I like animals, and I love funny animal videos. So I sent her the hilarious video of the rats running down the subway car and then walking up some guy. So I sent it to my sister, and I said, cute animal video. And I sent it to her, and she watched it. She went super upset because she said, I ride the metro every day and I'm scared that there's rats and don't send me any more videos. So of course I said, I won't send you any more rat videos. But then I saw Pizza Rat.
Oh,
and it was a cute video. It's a cute video. I sent her Pizza Rat video. She got so mad at me, she didn't talk to me for months. And to this day, if I send her a video, she makes me tell her what it is. And if I'm lying, she'll get like crazy mad. But once again, Pizza Rat was cute.
Wait, so she has that strong an aversion to rats?
I guess. I mean, she lives in New York.
If she
Rats
lives
are
in New York, they
everywhere.
are everywhere.
I mean, yeah, they're
but it's
like
fearful.
Are they?
But it was hilarious.
Why would you be afraid of it if
It
it's
was
part of your daily
hilarious.
life?
It was
I feel like this is the
hilarious.
dramatic side of the table. I just went, you are dramatic.
why.
Do
Very
not,
dramatic.
do not deny it.
Demonize.
And
It's okay.
National Sibling Day, so
And it's National
I
Sibling
Day
Day
love
yesterday,
say
so.
hi.
All right. Well, now that we've talked enough about ourselves and you guys are.
Woo, woo.
Uh,
They said we
let's-
are depressing. They
I
said
know.
these stories are so
Well,
depressing.
we
Oh
just
my
had-
God, you're not wrong.
You guys, we had to keep with the theme of the episode. It was such a downer episode. But let's
Yes.
talk about something good.
And
Cherry,
happy.
you've got some good news for us,
Yes,
right?
we've got some exciting news. Yee. Well, you lucky Supernatural fans in Chicago, guess who's coming to Chicago? Our own Rowena and Mary for the Creation Supernatural panel. They're doing photos and they're attending a panel. So I hope you guys got your tickets. It'll be super fun. I'm super jealous of Chicago. And then the Padaleckis are, of course, doing good as usual. They're doing a 5K challenge. And you can do a digital run and you'll get a custom badge. And, of course, Rum Fuzzy's doing good. And you can also go on the website and get a super cool t-shirt for $25.99 to $39.99 to support the fun run because it's helping girls do sports. And girls like doing sports. Equality! Yay!
All right. Well, let's get in some predictions then before we finish up the show because I know that Jackie's so excited to talk about something that she's going to love. Yeah.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
All right. So we get a Bobby sighting. Great to have Bobby back.
Yes.
Hey,
Who's
Bobby.
very mad and knows this can only go one way. It's only going to end one way. And this is my issue. We got Duma telling Jack that he has a glorious destiny, and I'm a little bit afraid she's playing both sides. And Castiel says Jack is a powerful being, but both Sam and Dean need to sign off on the fact that Jack is powerful, which could lead to him being the big bad. Jackie, tell me your thoughts, predictions, all the good stuff.
Okay, so I kind of saw somebody thinking something similar. Robana, I think it is, in the chat, who said that Duma, I think she might be the empty. I agree. I think that she might be the empty, and
interesting.
she is going to be manipulating Jack to become this. That's why I said earlier, I think he's going to be this omnipotent thing. Like, she's going to kind of make him be God, and because he's got all these powers, people will worship him, and she's going to manipulate him to make basically Armageddon, because she also wants to stick it to Castiel, to Sam, to Dean. So I think that she is going to be the puppet master for Jack and make him the big bad.
Oh my God, that's a lot to take in.
But see, that's what I'm saying. I think she's playing both sides. I don't think that I agree with you. I think she might be the empty too, because wasn't the empty in her before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% think that this girl is just bad news, and that's why I don't like her. That's why I didn't want to talk about her. Now I'm talking about her, giving it life. But I'm with you. I think this is not gonna end well for Jack. Being close with her, and if he's trying to kind of give Sam and Dean space, this is just not the person to give space and then go talk to, especially with Nick Lucifer on his shoulder.
How do we know Nick isn't really Duma the empty and really whispering things into his ears?
Oh, like she's also his subconscious.
Yes.
Oh, ooh, I like that. Oh,
How do you imagine him? Ugh.
oh God, so we could potentially even get an episode where everyone or most of the characters are in Jack's mind. Ooh. And he doesn't know who to trust.
That would be terrifying.
Oh yeah. I get another dramatic beat. Yay. 2 in 1 episode. I'm on a roll, guys.
Yes.
Wow, that could be, I would be here for that. If
But
if
you're
he,
going to
like-
be here for it either way.
No, either way. But I would be very, 100%, 150% on board with the idea of a whole episode devoted to Jack's mind. And him just being like, what did I do at the end?
Right.
And everyone's dead.
I like it.
Ooh.
I like it.
Oh, I hope not.
Oh, I hope not
Poor
either.
Jack, no. I think next week we are going to have a major fight because Bobby's going to try and use his emotional connection with Sam and Dean to influence them to kill Jack. 'Cause he's never been super cool with Jack. He's found him to be a useful tool, but he doesn't like angels, so he doesn't like Jack anyway. And then I'm hoping we'll see Rowena, where she'll be the Jiminy Cricket on their shoulder saying, once again, Jack isn't an adult. He looks like an adult. He's still a child. And you guys really need to like sort of get back on the train of guiding him to being a better Nephilim.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, that's a whole lot of predictions. There's a lot of future stuff. I love this idea that we have voices in Jack's head, that we could have a whole episode on just all the things that he's thinking and going through, because we saw so many flashbacks in this episode. So it'd be a great way to kind of like finish up this season. Next week, we are going to talk about, because it is episode 19 and episode 20 is the final episode this season, we're going to talk about a little giveaway we're going to be doing. We have something special that we'll be giving away. And we'll
Spoiler.
You got to stay tuned for next week's episode and find out. And we'll let you guys know what it is. And then
It's a lap dance from Jack.
Ooh,
I'm glad you didn't say E at the end. I was like, no, it's not.
I wish we could get you that. But we've got something fun for you. So stay tuned for next week so that we can fill you in on what that is and what you'll need to do. And we'll announce the winner on the season finale, which is in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. All right, everybody. Where can everyone find you in the interim?
So you can find me on Tuesdays at The Rookie and Cherry_LA on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can find me, Brendan Haley, at Brendan Haley on Instagram, Brendo Hales on Twitter. I'm also here at AfterBuzz TV doing Queer Eye, which we are on episode 5, episode 6, I believe. So tune into that, you guys. Can't speak.
Hey everybody, don't forget I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at JRayTheFanatic or online at JRayTheFanatic.com. And I am also here on Mondays doing The Order.
Hey guys, this is Lyndsey here. You can find me on all things social media at Lyndsey Wegner. That's LYNDSEYWEGNER. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry to be the downers, but hopefully next week we have more excitement and positivity and forgiveness. We will see you then. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.